Hey, good evening, everybody. Hi, it's Ross Cook, the founder of Ross Cook Balancing. Welcome to my Facebook Live tonight. I am the person that helps people who are high-level entrepreneurs to stop self-sabotaging behaviors and beliefs so that they can grow a sustainable and a very profitable business and, just as importantly, live value-based, congruent lives. We are in the middle of a 5-part discussion, and it's how do you go home successfully? And we talked about, early on, we talked about the wisdom of silence. That was the first one. And the second one was about the energy and the dreams of possibilities. And I want to just touch on that a little bit more. The difference between a possibility, when I think about it a lot, and I'm like, okay, that's a possibility. It's where I am. And our possibilities tend to be practical. You know, it's like you say, you can have all this possibility in your world. And people then go to what's familiar to them and go, well, then my possibility is going to come in on those wavelengths of what I already understand. Well, many of the things we want and we're going to hopefully manifest in our lives are very far from what we know now. So that's the idea of dream. The idea of, you think of the word dream, it just is etheric and it's possible and it's out there and there's no control in it. And so we use that to amplify and stretch what has often become a constricted word in the idea of I'm creating possibility, which is just very familiar in my life. Okay. So let's blend and use the energy of dream with any time we're expanding ourselves that way. And that's going home successfully. What could be happening at the house tonight? Well, I know it's sort of like this, and it's easy to make your possibilities incredibly limited because we want to be familiar with what's happening. What if it's a dream? What if it's just so out there? And what's the possibilities? What that might feed my children, my spouse, my friends? How might it bring a whole new essence to everything that I'm doing in a given evening and going home in personal excellence? Does that make sense? Last night we talked a little bit about take time and stop on the way home and breathe and imagine what's there and imagine, what you want it to be like and breathe through that and see if anything that's thick and dense with consternation jumps in the way. And if that's the case, then balancing clients would know to balance right through it, and other people might have to take it through a quick breathing exercise. And if you need those healing quick balances that we can help you with, just touch base with me at rosscookbalancing.com. Okay? Or comment down below. That's all right. Tonight's night 4, and this one's a little convoluted. And I want to talk to you about the choice of going home. I'm about to go home. And what if choice is some kind of distinct, bizarre possibility? And I'm going to say it has 3 factors. We say self-love has 3 legs to the stool. Let's talk about choice having 3 factors as I'm going to work my way into that situation. And they aren't the only factors, but we're going to talk about a couple of them, 3 of them at all. I had an experience once in my life when I was not earning a lot of money. It was really a good amount of money at the time. I was earning about $28,000 a year, and I went on a deal to do some business, and the commission was going to be somewhere between $24,000 and $30,000, and we didn't get it. In walking out of the place, the people all said, "What are you going to go do?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to go back and make phone calls and continue my evening and work." And the people were like, "No, you need to come with us. This was a devastating blow. You need to hang out for 3 days, and maybe we'll go fishing, and we have to work this off. This was terrible." And I said, "No, I've got stuff on my schedule I have to go do." So I went and I worked. And then on my way driving, leaving those people and driving to work, in the evening, it occurred to me that I was abysmally ignorant of what they were talking about. I hadn't been in the business as long as they had. I didn't know how rare this was. Okay, that's fine. Okay. When we're making choices, can ignorance of a bad possibility or a bad pattern be a great possibility for you? Can it be a great benefit? I know it's a teaching moment. Our children one time were attempting to push the car and get it out so they could play Foursquare, and they put a key in the ignition and put the foot on the clutch and pushed the car backwards. And thank God bless, they were pushing it backwards, and my son was in front of the car because the car started and drove up. And when I came home, the car was sitting on top of a bunch of bushes in our front yard. I kid you not. It was all wheels off the ground. The doors on the driver's side had been torn completely off the car as my daughter had been trying to turn it around the corner. She was probably 6, trying to turn it around the corner and get it. And it started and went right up on the thing, just smashed the car. And thank goodness nobody was hurt. Okay. But the children, we asked them about making a choice. The major lesson for tonight. Go home and make choices. I mean, literally make choices. Don't just slide into the night. As I'm going home, what am I going to choose to do? I'm going to choose to be happy. I'm going to choose to be this. There might be some things going on that I don't understand, and I'm going to willingly not understand them rather than to react with the same old reaction I react in an average day that then gives you the similar emotional hit. Okay? I'm just going to choose to do it differently. So it became a great teaching lesson, not only then, but for many years for our children. They thought they understood all the factors involved. They thought they could make the appropriate choice based on those. Well, and we later said to them, if you're in intimacy situations or drug situations with friends or people drinking and driving and alcohol as a youth, look, understand, you think you know the choices. You don't. You don't know all the choices. So I'm sounding like an arguing to both ends. I'm just putting a lot of different planets around this. I'm putting moons and planets orbiting around this idea of choice. One, sometimes it's good to be ignorant. Other times it's good to understand that you don't know everything that's going on. And maybe that's a blessing, or maybe it's not. It certainly is a teaching moment. The third part of that is, even with your children, and certainly with your spouse, when automatic conversations, now go home, keep choice into the conversations. That means you have a little perspective. You're at a little bit of a distance, so you can listen at many levels. When they start talking, understand you're not only talking to the child or the spouse who's sitting at the table with you, you're talking to the chairs of the people that are sitting in the chairs behind them that made them make those choices and thoughts the way they are. Those thought patterns are coming from somewhere. And to have good choice in the conversation, you need to be able to encompass and embrace all of the communication and make their histories, as they've learned these things, comfortable so that you can have not just the same old rigid conversations again, but you can bring choice and difference into everything you're doing. Okay? So, whether you can realize sometimes, it's better to not know and be a little ignorant about it and hold your energy and positivity and flow and choice, or maybe it's a great teaching moment that's going on where they don't know and that's something that's going on, or maybe it's just the idea of the chairs, where you hold the chairs together and you realize that what they're saying to me right now is coming from somewhere, and I want to be supportive of where they learned it and what they're saying, and learn to communicate via choice in a given different moment. Does that make sense? Okay. This one's kind of dry and out there. Certainly didn't have cake or anything like that. But these are important ones. So when you go to drive home, if you're using last night's measure, say, well, I'm going to stop and I'm going to think about the choices I'm going to make when I go home tonight. And I'm going to think about it differently, and I'm going to listen differently. And then I'm going to, when it comes around my turn, I'm going to speak differently. I'm going to make it a different evening for me, and choice is going to be the answer for me tonight. Okay? Going home differently. This is number 4. Thank you. I appreciate you checking in and your kind of little notes and everything like that. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. Remember how we said, did you make the Final Four? Did you make the tournament with the education and the training and the team and the game, your understanding of the game? How you doing in the tournament this week? I'll talk to you again soon. I'm Ross Cook of Ross Cook Balancing. I believe in you. No one's told you that today. I believe in you. And let's be progressively more well now than we were a minute ago, and tonight than this afternoon, and tomorrow weller than now. I believe in you, and we'll talk again soon. Good night.